Good evening, guys, and happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces. Guys, I didn't end up being able to share with you guys my grocery haul from today because I was out of space on that memory card again. It was my really small one that I used yesterday, and I had forgotten to download the stuff. So as soon as I got back from the grocery store, I did so that I could record this earlier. However, I ended up getting lost and looking up stuff on like Pinterest and stuff, and yeah, now it's sort of late. And also too, guys, it is downpouring outside right now. It is like actually like awesome because I don't have to water any of the plants today, with the exception of like possibly maybe a few of the hanging baskets I might need to, like the ones that are covered, that don't get, you know, watered. Like I'll probably water those ones tomorrow, just check on them. But like for the most part, like all the garden stuff, the vegetables, the garden bed, all that kind of stuff, everything is getting a nice drink. And even the grass was looking a little sad right now. I'm not totally sure why that is, but I noticed it wasn't just ours, it was actually like our neighbors across the street too, looked a little sad as well. I don't know, again, if it was just from the, you know, not raining in a little while. It wasn't like we were in a drought, but it hadn't rained for maybe like about a week or so. Actually, I'm trying to think of when the last time it actually did rain was. I'd say, yeah, probably over maybe like 2 weeks ago or something like that. So it was a little bit since we've gotten some rain, but like I've been watering all of the plants, especially the new ones that we just got planted, because that will help them out a lot. You know, sort of transitioning from being in their little, you know, nursery pots into the actual garden beds, and then also to the all the vegetables as well. You know, and well, I guess we also have melons in there too, so it's fruits and vegetables in that flower bed or garden bed. So anyways though, guys, yeah, we did go to Valley Produce and Caputo's. We almost weren't able to, again, because my mom ended up going over to my aunt's house, and Matthew ended up going with his girlfriend, and so luckily she was going to pick him up though, so we were still going to be able to have his car to use to go shopping. However, Jack ended up actually, it's like the end of the school year, right? But Jack wanted to get involved in track yesterday. Like over this weekend, his friend had convinced him to, one of his friends had convinced him to try out for track just so that he could get in shape, because they do a lot of running and, you know, conditioning, all that kind of stuff for football. And so one of his friends was doing it, and actually I think Jack was saying like he just needed to get like a few seconds or a few milliseconds shaved off his time, and he can actually make state, which is really cool. But like Jack is not that fast. He even said that too. He's like, I don't really want to compete or anything like that in any of the like track events other than like maybe like the field events, but like even still, like, you know, like shot put or something like that. But regardless, like he can still do like, you know, the conditioning, the running, all that kind of stuff with them. And so he was going to do that, but the coach was like, which is actually the head football coach, said that they're doing like different stuff than what they did at the beginning of like the season, and that it might not work out really well for him to like join and start doing it right now. And then he ended up actually seeing one of his friends in, I guess, like the hallway that actually ran track, and he told him, he was like, oh, I was gonna try, you know, and come out for like the practices just so that I can get conditioned, you know, because most of the coaches that coach football also coach track and wrestling. And so you know, like I said, they just, you know, they use it also for a lot of those football kids to do for like I said, you know, like two sport athlete sort of things, but also conditioning in the off season sort of thing. Like Matthew played volleyball, but like Matthew was athletic enough to play volleyball. Jack is probably not not that much. Like, you know, he even said too, he's like, I don't know that I am coordinated enough to do a lot of like, you know, the volleyball things, or, you know, again, even like playing basketball or baseball or something like that where like, you know, ball's directly involved with that. He was like, I'm probably not really good at those type of sports, but like track he'd be really good. So again, he saw a different friend in the hallway then, and the friend was like, oh, you know, you can come for the summer camps, which I guess are like either right before maybe or right after actual football summer camp, and then you can do it, you know, like for next year, where Jack will be a junior. And so he ended up deciding that was what he was going to do. But his other friends convinced him then that he should do wrestling for the end of this year, which everything got all changed around again, like football did this year because of COVID. So like wrestling is now, I think that's the winter sport, but it got changed to like also being a spring sport. So like all of the sports are going on, like have been going on, you know. Football was a very short season, but like wrestling has been going on now for like a while as well. But it's like in the spring, you know, and the same with, well, track is normally, I believe, in the spring, but I don't know actually. No, I think it is. It's in the spring. I think cross country is what's in the fall. But so anyways, Jack ended up staying for the wrestling like practice today with his friend, and like they paired up because Jack's like, I had absolutely no clue what I was doing, but he came home and was completely drenched in sweat. I was like, well, whatever you did, you got a really good workout in for. So he had emailed like the teachers or the coach ahead of time, which was actually his freshman and sophomore year coach, and had, you know, sent him an email and asked, you know, can I come out for for wrestling, and he had said that, you know, that he could, and so he ended up going today. Like I said, he ended up practicing with like one of his friends, and he was like, I had no clue like what I was doing, what any of the moves and stuff like that were. But again, long story short, he ended up definitely getting a good workout in, and he thinks that again, it's not something he doesn't really want to compete in it, because again, he joined late, doesn't have really much of a clue as to like what's going on or any of the type of stuff that he's supposed to be doing, anything like that. Over the summer, he's going to do football summer camp, the what's it called, the track and field summer camp as well, which is supposed to be going on at like the same time, but not at the same, like during the same, you know, like both during summer on the same days, but probably just like, oh, like, you know, an hour later or whatever. And then he's also going to be doing, he said that he was going to do football, obviously, but then he might also do wrestling in the winter, and then also do track or field, you know, events or whatever it is in the spring. And if nothing else, if he doesn't wind up actually competing in any of the, you know, like wrestling stuff, or in, you know, any of the track or field actual events, that he can still, again, go to the meets, support everybody that's on the team and stuff like that, but also so that he can actually get a workout in, so that he can do it for football. And if nothing else too, I know colleges look very favorably on 2-sport athletes, and then to even try and do 3 sports is like also really awesome. So he was definitely, like I said, thinking of doing that. I was like, you've got a lot on your plate, but good for you. Which, like I said, is a lot more than I feel like what Matthew did, because Matthew actually had just like picked up a sport sort of in middle school and was like, oh, one of my friends is doing volleyball, I'm gonna try it, and was pretty good at it. So he did it all 4 years of high school as well, and then did 2 years in his what's it called, middle school, which our middle school was only, no, I guess was Matthew, no, Matthew's 7th grade was when they first added the 6th grade on. So 6th grade, Matthew is still in elementary school, but now it's 6th through 8th grade. So like I said, he did it for both of his only 2 years of middle school, and then all 4 years of high school, which, you know, obviously helped him, I guess, a little bit as well, for, you know, that. But I feel like track is really good for your like, you know, conditioning and everything like that, and the practices and everything. And the wrestling too is also really good, I feel like, for like certain things on the football field, but also very good for balance. Like a lot of football players also do wrestling as well. So anyways, Jack ended up doing that, but because of that, it was like 2-hour practice right after school, and so we were like, well then, like I said, Matthew ended up going with his girlfriend. My mom was gone at my aunt's house, and my dad's like, okay, well we can go to the grocery stores, and I was like, we're gonna leave the dogs home alone, and who's gonna pick up Jack if we're not back in time? And so we ended up having to wait until 5 o'clock to go to the stores. We finally got back at about 7 o'clock, I think, or maybe we left a little after that, like 5:30, and we ended up getting home, I think, a little bit before like 7 o'clock. Like, it took us only maybe around an hour in total to go to the stores. But I was gonna, like I said, share with you guys, but then I also realized I didn't have my memory card, and then it was kind of a mess too, because my mom had just come home from my aunt's actually when we were leaving, so like it was at the same time, so we actually ended up taking her car instead of Matthew's, so we didn't actually need his car. So yeah, it was just sort of a whole thing. So why, guys, I'm sorry I didn't have actually a haul for you guys from those 2 stores, but we did still end up just barely making it to the sales because they ended up ending today. So it was funny too, because I got my sales papers for next week already today, and I was like, I'm gonna start making the list today for those stores, and then realize that they are, you know, it's it's not this sales that I'm going to do today, it's for next week. And I was like, and we'll be back at Valley Produce and Caputo's in, like, you know, if we're gonna go on Friday in just a couple days now. But yeah, really proud of Jack too that he's doing that, especially too, like in a sport that you don't really know, because I was like I understand volleyball, I understand track and the field events and stuff like that. A lot of that's more from like watching the Olympics, but I was like, wrestling is like a sport that I literally know nothing about, like absolutely nothing about, and like very, very little. Like my dad was saying, he was like, he asked Jack, he was like, so like, did everybody else there have like the special like wrestling shoes or whatever they're supposed to wear? And Jack was like, yeah. And he was like, I had to just wear my socks today. So my dad's like, we'll go and pick you out some like wrestling shoes, but he's like, if it's something that you want to do also next year, because it doesn't really make sense also, because I think it's only like a 3-week long rest of the season, or Jack only has like 2 or 3 weeks left of school, so that's probably how long roughly the practices are going to go anyway, to go out and get those. But it sounds like Jack actually wants to do it, and also too because his friends are involved with it. So when they're not, you know, doing football or whatever, they'll be able to still get together sort of like after the practices or whatever, you know, that kind of thing is what Jack, you know, was kind of like, I still get to like hang out with my friends and stuff like that, even not during like the football season. Get together, like him and his friends, like it seems like every other weekend sometimes. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Also, guys, like I said, it is downpouring outside. Like I keep hearing it is like horrible, but it's actually supposed to cool off. This weekend is actually supposed to look pretty crummy. It looks like it's supposed to rain. I think actually it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and then what's the day after that? Thursday, and then it's supposed to be like sunny, I think Friday, Saturday, and Sunday maybe, and then Monday on Memorial Day is actually supposed to be raining again, sort of, I think. So anyways, yeah, it looks sort of like not great weather for this weekend, and it's also supposed to be pretty chilly. Like I think one day it's actually supposed to get down, like the high will only be 50. I think maybe that was like on Friday or Thursday or something like that. There's one day that's going to be really cold and rainy and stuff like that, and then it's supposed to only be like 70s as a high. So I was like, we wound up putting the air conditioners in for sort of no reason, but then after that it's supposed to get back up into the 80s again, and we still won't have the air conditioning. Like they're not going to be out until, like I said, like that first week of June or whatever, so that's still like 2 weeks away, I think. So yeah, anyways, guys, I'll see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see y'all very soon, shiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.